Hello gentles and ladymen, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Glenndalf's Comedy, with me, the Wizard of Comedy, Glenndalf. Now, as some of you sharper people have noticed, I have changed my background. I have some art and a new wall. Now, I changed it from the blue wall because it's greener, and I like green. Look, don't judge me. Now, on today's episode, I thought we could talk about something which everyone knows and loves, and if you don't know it, get off the video now, you're too young. Now today, I'm going to be talking to you about sex. Yes, sex. Now, I'm going to admit it, I don't have a girlfriend. There we go, but I don't. And I am a proud virgin. Virgin power, everyone. Virgin power. However, my friend who wished to remain anonymous, Peter, came up to me, and as a friend who I will admit has been serious with some girls. He's got a nice steady girlfriend and he has lost his virginity. I bear no jealousy. I'm going to kill him one day. Sorry, what was that? Anyway, now, he decided as a friend to talk to me. Now, I don't trust a lot of my friends. I mean, I was in a lesson the other day in maths. Not math, you Americans, it's maths with an S. Anyway, I was in maths and my friend, he had just recently eaten a free cookie out of the canteen, I think bad like that. However, halfway through maths, he goes pale. Yes, pale. And at this point I'm completely ignoring him because if he's ill, I don't want anything to do with him. Just keep him away from me, I say. Anyway, he's ill, he starts sweating, he says to me, Adam's my real name for those who didn't know. Or, if you prefer, he said to me, Glenn, I have a problem. Now this is serious. He said, I think I've had an allergic reaction to my nut. So, if I start to bend over and spazzing out, what a medical word. If he starts spazzing out, he told me I should stab him with his injector thing, which would save his life. I was not going to do it. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? For one simple reason. I have no idea what this injection thing was. I presume it was a needle. I don't know. I could have had to shove something up his a-hole. Imagine that. Oh, come on, Zach. Oh, you're gonna live. You're gonna live. Oh. Gives me the creeps just thinking about it. Anyway, he said to me, Adam, you need to inject me. What this injection thing could have been Anyway, I'm thinking I could inject him in the eye, the penis. Who knows? I could have killed him. I could have injected him in the nutsack and ripped out a nut. Oh, that would have been horrible. We've had this strange object on the end of the syringe in my hand. Oh, my good friend Zach is dying from a nut allergy and blood loss. Imagine! Could have been terrible. But he didn't spaz out. It was all okay. Yes. Anyway, back to the original conversation. Now, my friend Peter, who wishes to remain anonymous, is a very, very dear friend of mine. And one day, as my friend, he told me he had to do something about my girlfriend problem. So he told me how to make sex. Thumbs up. Anyway, after he said this to me, I will be honest, I was a little shocked. I will admit, I felt that I wasn't so rusty and terrible that I needed advice from my friend, who is this tall. Never look down to a man who's giving you sex advice. It'll scar you for life. But anyway, he decided to give me some advice. So I thought, what have I got to lose? I could learn something brilliant. So, on March the 19th, 2014, we sat down and had the weirdest, worst, and frankly, a conversation I would like never, ever, even if my life depended on it, to repeat. So, we sat down in my lounge. Well, not mine, my parents' lounge. Oh, well, not before the house, but anyway, we sat down in the lounge and it began. If I ever get a girlfriend and she hates me for life, it's because of this conversation. We sat down and he said to me, Adam, or Glenn, there are 4 stages to sex. The approach, the lies, the doing, and the aftermath. I never knew sex could be so complicated. I was expecting to bring out a textbook and I have to sit an exam, get my grade. Anyway, so he told me about the 4 stages, of which I will now tell you. Stage 1, the approach. Now the approach apparently is very important. Now, he did say to me, Adam, or Glenn, the first part of the approach is make sure you know the girl. I could figure that out on my own. What did he think I was going to do? Go up to some girl I've just seen on the street and work on my sex? Just got to, hey, you're right. Got a comfy bed back home. Got a lovely duvet cover with a skull on. Should probably change that. I'm never going to have sex. Anyway, so that was the first point. And from this point onward, I knew this conversation was not going to be a good one. So the approach. So you get your girlfriend or a girl you know you wish to have sex with. I will be honest, having a girlfriend is a lot more efficient and it's a lot quicker. Now the second part of the approach is to be a little hands-on, as he put it. So, take her on a date. This I did point out that this is good because if the first point had been just grab a girl, it would be very awkward to just grab someone off the street, drag her into a cinema or a restaurant and have a date. So anyway, this was a good start to the second point. Now you go on the date and you do some hand moves, you know, the old cinema. Or the old restaurant. Oh, just grab her hand. Or yeah, that's all I really know. Like I say, I'm not very advanced in this stuff, but anyway. And you just rub their knees, I quote, rub your hands all over her deliciously juicy body. No, that's insane. I refuse to do that. Well, you're not having sex then. Fine. I'll rub my hands all over a female's juicy body. So that's good. And then the second part of the approach is to convince her to come back to yours. Because going to hers, she has the control. It's like some sort of slave trade. Yeah, you gotta come to mine. Because then, you have to be my bitch. So, once I've got her back to my slave house, I can continue the approach. Always nice to maybe get a glass of champagne and to dim the lights. Oh yes, I know. Romantic. Ladies, I'm available. So, now that you're pouring champagne everywhere, glasses are smashing because you're wandering around in the dark, you now begin the last stage of the approach. You take her to the bedroom. Now, you don't just take her to the bedroom, throw her on the ground and go at it like mad rabbits. No. You take her to the bedroom, you walk in with her, and you sit down and talk. Now, you've perfected the approach, easiest of the stages. Now you begin the lying stage, and this really depends on how good you are at lying. Me? I'm very good at lying. Just ask anyone. I might have to edit that bit out. If I haven't edited it out, I'm looking like I'm going to shut up now. So, you're on to the lying stage. Now, when he said to me, the lying stage, I didn't know what to expect. I thought lying. I thought honesty is the best thing in a relationship. To which he reminded me, Adam, this isn't, or Glenn, this isn't a relationship. This is getting in bed with a female. Okay, so apparently sex eliminates all kinds of politeness and respectness in society. Yeah! Now, the lying stage, he told me, is a very, very easy stage if you're good at lying. And all it is to make yourself seem so good she can't resist you. But what if she finds out I'm not as good? And Glenn, she'll never will. Remember, one night stand. I don't want this to be a one night stand. I'm supposed to be doing this with my girlfriend and it's a one night stand? Sex doesn't make sense. Anyway, you start talking with her and you discuss your interests. It might be a Wii. Who knows? It might be Lego. Could be. Or it could be PC gaming. Who knows? Who knows what you're into? Could be reading, or I don't know, writing. Who knows what your interests are? All of them are boring. None of them matter. You're a boring person. You're pathetic. Believe it. You're never going to get a female in bed if you tell her what your real habits are. Well, thanks for making me feel good about myself, Peter. Yeah. Anyway, so you lie and you tell her yes. And I ask her, you say, what do you like? And she'll say, oh, like a racing. Really? Did you know? Trying out to be a Formula 1 driver. Even got my own Ferrari. Really? Yes. Take a look at this. My driver, yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. Yeah, no, we're dying. Oh, fuck you. Oh, there we go. Now, so you lie. So you've got her interests. She likes you now. You've got the same interests, and you're one step closer. That is assuming she hasn't gone and asked you something like, oh right, so you like horse racing. Ah, who's your favourite horse racer? Bill. Oh yes, Bill. Brilliant racer. Did you see him in that race one time? Yeah, it was in that race. And he was riding that horse. That horse, which was a colour. So lying is really the stage where most people wipe out. But anyway, moving on. You continue the lying stage and you stop lying about your hobbies and what you do for a living and how rich you are, and you begin to lie about more personal things. Now, the one thing I hope another male never, ever, 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 ever says to me again is, Glenn, if you wear some big shorts, your package will look small. If you wear some tight chinos, you know, it'll make your package look so desirable, even I couldn't resist. Moving on. So I'm wearing these clothes that made my package look big, and now I need to lie about its size. Oh yes, I've got a nice 20-inch. That's what I should say. My good friend Peter told me that I have got a nice 20 inches. I pass out when all the blood rushes to it, but there we go. It's all about the size. Now, the thing I have is that's great, but what happens when you go to have sex? You take your jacket off, down your trousers come, your pants, underwear, whatever you call it, they come down. She looks down and goes, oh, that's not 20 inches. That's a 1-inch wonder, that is. So, I'm not so sure about this lying stage. But anyway, that's the lying stage. Very easy, quick, simple. Get her into bed, she's all hyped up about doing you. Now, we get to the most horrible stage to hear. The doing stage. As you can imagine. Now I don't know what drove him to say this, But he said, no, Adam, or Glenn, you do know how to have sex, don't you? 17 years old and I don't know. Oh, terrible. Now, if you don't know how to have sex, really shouldn't you be watching this video? I don't know what's going on. What was he expecting? Was I going to say no? And he was going to sit there and go, well, when a mummy and a daddy love each other very much, or a husband and wife having problems, they want an affair, or when a man walks into a brothel, or when someone pits him out. But anyway, multiple occasions, not just a mummy and daddy love. I don't know why they keep telling the kids that these days. Their minds are going to be boggled into all these nuclear families. We'll lose prostitutes, all that business, gone, wiped out, because of that story. Anyway, the bee and the bird needs to change. There's a hippo in there. Anyway, moving on from my opinions on sex education in school these days, which is terrible by the way, let's talk a little bit more about the doing. So now that we all know how to have sex, so now that we all know what we're doing, we can begin some hand gestures. He said to me, Adam, the hands are what put it all together. Now you need to caress her legs, not scratch them, because I have claws apparently that are just going to rip a girl's legs open, because that'll be really attractive in sex. Yeah. Oh god, the horror! The ultimate horror. Oh, I'm not very enthusiastic about this, I will be honest. This whole violent sex seems a little bit odd. Anyway, and you need to maybe grab her upper body, and her fruit, and move them around a little bit. I can't describe pornography on the internet, I'm afraid, my viewers. For those males that have just unzipped their trousers, zip them back up, I do not want that sort of thing happening. Anyway, so now that the creeps have logged out of the internet, I fear that I'm looking into their souls. Anyway, we can begin talking a little bit more, but not in high detail, about the doing section. Now he also, my friend Peter, went to tell me on about all the different positions. I thought there was only one. That pole, we'll call it, went inside the circle, like that, and then out, and then in, at various speeds. I thought that was sex, but apparently I was wrong. Apparently there's something called doggy style. Because dogs are attractive in human nature. Something needs to be done about that. Let's call it a different name, please. Not doggy style, call it the bent over crouched that looks strangely like a baby. That's just worse. Ugh. There's also various styles where the female is the dominant one on top, and once again you make her slave where you're the dominant one. There's also the various positions, some which will scar me for life. Oh! So, moving on from the positions, the noises are important. Please do not expect me to make the noises that were heard in my lounge that night. If I had a dog, maybe I could have gotten away with them. But no, what? The noises. Oh, no, please. So, yeah, there we go. That was the position. There was a lot more to the doing, but I'm not comfortable discussing it to a camera. I wonder, at this point in my head, I'm wondering what website this video's going to end up on. It could be YouTube. It could be something that begins with ColorTube. But anyway, he also said that in the doing, you've got also different styles, not just different positions, but different styles. You've got delicate, loving, emotional sex, which requires quiet voices, elegant movements, And it's far more complicated than sex should be. I tell you, Christ, some of the stuff that he was telling me, that just seems like a lot of hard work. It's just enjoyable, not, oh, God, no, too hard, oh, yes, that's right, no, oh, no, it's the, oh, no. Now, he did also tell me that there's, what most people go for is loud, insane, mad sex. Unfortunately, a lot of people can hear you then, and like I said, I'm a dog, I can't cover up those noises. Now, the one that confused me the most was rough sex. Now, after some explaining, I think I've got it down. I'm going to be having a girl, she's going to be sitting there. Come up, me Glenn. I'm looking forward to fucking your brains out, Glenndalf. Oh, we're going to have a little rough then. I've got just the thing. Rough sex, here I come. Now, at this point, my girlfriend is freaked out, knows I'm a liar, and I've beaten her half to death. But now comes the most important bit. Because if you want a one-night stand, you can leave it at that for the night, but not for the morning. But if you want a nice, continued relationship, which you're not going to get, and bringing this out, beating her, lying to her, getting her as your slave, let me tell you people, you are not going into a serious relationship. No, the aftermath is very important. So, the aftermath is actually of relative importance. Now if you're having the one night stand, it's quite simple. You cuddle, maybe talk for a bit. Don't talk about anything serious. Do not talk about your family life. Do not let her find out where you live if you want a one night stand. You just go to sleep, and in the morning you make sure you wake up before her, and you take your hammer or your axe or whatever you use for your rough sex and get out of there before she can accuse you of rape and assault. However, if you want a nice deep relationship, the aftermath is very important. Apparently you're supposed to talk about how well it did. Well, I will be honest, that's going to be very awkward. I'm just lying in bed. How's that for you, honey, darling, Glenn? How's that for you, Glenn? Well, Glenndalf, I mean, it's pretty terrible. You could improve on your movements a little bit. I will be honest, it was overland terrible. How could you say that, Glenn? I worked hard, I did my research, I even looked up the 4 stages. This is supposed to be a long-lasting relationship with the 4th stage. I'm sorry, but it just wasn't good enough. I mean, Peter was so much better. And now I'm afraid of myself. So, yeah, that's the after wake up talk, and then you go to sleep and you wake up in the morning, get up early, don't leave her, then you hide your bloodied hammer, and you make her breakfast. And that, my friends, is the 4 stages of how to have sex. That is the same advice I received, and let me tell you, I've had no success with it yet. So, next time you're wondering, God, me and my girlfriend wants to have sex, what should I do? Do not think Glenndalf's comedy.